When Sandra met Chief Obinna, she thought her life had finally changed. From a cracked phone to a mansion gate, everything she ever dreamed of was suddenly within reach. But behind every gift came a price. One she didn't see until it was far too late. This isn't just a story about desire. It's about how one choice can buy your comfort, but cost your soul. And by the time Sandra realized it, her phone was ringing from the morgue. In her world, the size and the brand of your phone decided your worth. When an old rich man offered her the new iPhone 17 Pro Max in exchange for just one night, she said yes. But a week later, that same phone was sold to bury her. This is the true story of Sandra, the girl who died for an iPhone. Stay tuned, because what happened next will make you think twice before chasing what shines. Sandra was the kind of girl who wanted the world to notice her. Pretty, confident, and always trying to look perfect, she believed that beauty meant success, and success meant being seen. At 22, she was studying business administration at the university, but her real passion wasn't her books, it was her image. Every photo she posted had to look expensive. The flawless wig, the new lashes, the background that said luxury. But deep down, Sandra was tired of pretending. All her friends had the latest things, especially phones. Every lecture, every party, every picture on campus looked like a competition of who had the newest iPhone. Sandra still used an old one that lagged every time she opened her camera. Each time it froze mid-video, laughter followed. Her friends would tease, "Sandra, beg upgrade that phone. How can a fine girl like you be using this old thing?" At first, she'd laugh it off. But later, when she scrolled through Instagram at night, the laughter turned into shame. Then came the moment that changed everything. Her best friend Anita posted a video unboxing the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. The box glowed under the light. The camera looked like gold. Sandra watched the clip over and over again, her chest tightening each time. That night, she whispered to herself, "I don't care how. I will get that phone." She didn't know that one sentence would lead her down a path that would destroy everything, her peace, her health, and eventually, her life. The next morning, Sandra couldn't stop thinking about the glittering screen she had seen in Anita's video. Everywhere she went, someone seemed to be holding an iPhone 17 Pro Max. The phone had become a symbol of class, of power, of being seen. At the cafeteria, two girls posed for a selfie, laughing loudly. #soft life, one of them shouted. Sandra smiled on the outside, but inside she felt a sting. Her own phone could barely open the camera app anymore. When she got home, she opened Instagram. Influencers talked about content creation, brand deals, and upgrading your image. Each post felt like a whisper in her ear. "You're falling behind, Sandra." She tried to ignore it. She even told herself she was grateful for what she had. But the voice wouldn't stop. Late that night, she stared at her cracked screen and whispered, "If I just had that phone, everything would change." The next week, a friend invited her to a party at a popular lounge in Lekki. "Rich people go there," her friend teased. "You never know who you might meet." Sandra didn't plan on meeting anyone, but she dressed as if her destiny depended on it. A red dress, gold earrings, and confidence painted over her worry. That night, between flashing lights and loud music, Sandra's eyes caught a man surrounded by bodyguards. He was older, wearing a white agbada that almost glowed under the lights, and heavy rings that sparkled like fire. He looked at her once, then twice, and smiled. She didn't know it yet, but that smile was the beginning of the storm that would soon swallow her whole. From that night on, Sandra couldn't stop thinking about the man in the white agbada. He had introduced himself simply as Chief. His voice was calm, his words slow, and every sentence carried the weight of money. When he spoke, people leaned closer. Sandra didn't understand why he noticed her among all the glamorous women at the lounge. Maybe it was her shy smile. Maybe it was how she looked out of place. clutching her old phone while everyone else flaunted luxury. Before she left that night, Chief had sent one of his aides to give her a card. "Call me," the aide said with a grin. "Chief likes respectful girls." Sandra laughed nervously, tucked the card into her purse, and went home pretending she didn't care, but she couldn't sleep. The next morning, her friend Anita noticed her distraction. "Girl, what's wrong? You're staring at your food like it's a mystery." Sandra hesitated, then told her everything. Anita's eyes widened. "Wait, Chief Obinna. The same man who built 3 estates in Lekki? That man is loaded. If he likes you, your life can change overnight." Sandra tried to hide her excitement, but her heart raced. She thought about all the girls she knew who had suddenly started driving cars, wearing wigs worth more than her rent, and posting pictures from Dubai. They always said the same thing: "It's just friendship." Later that evening, Sandra took the card out again. She stared at the gold letters and wondered what it would hurt to just say hello. She didn't know that this single decision, this small, curious hello, would set off a chain of events that would ruin everything she ever dreamed of. When Sandra finally dialed the number, her heart raced so hard she could hear it in her ears. She almost hung up after the first ring until a deep voice answered. "Who am I speaking with?" She froze for a second, then whispered, "Sandra, the girl from last night." There was a short pause, then a soft chuckle. "Ah, my beautiful Sandra. I was wondering if you'd ever call." That voice, calm, smooth, commanding, sent a strange shiver down her spine. They talked for a while. Chief asked about her studies, her dreams, her family. He sounded gentle, caring even, but beneath that gentleness was something heavy, something she couldn't name. After a few conversations, he said the words that lit up her heart. "You said you wanted an iPhone 17 Pro Max, didn't you?" Sandra froze. She had never mentioned it to him directly, only complained once about her old phone. "How did he know?" "I have a gift for you," he continued. "Come see me tomorrow evening. Dress beautifully. I like to spoil my friends." The next day, Sandra stood in front of her mirror for an hour. Her hands trembled as she applied her lipstick. Her best dress suddenly felt too simple. She called Anita. "Do you think it's wrong?" Anita laughed. "Wrong? Girl, it's just dinner. Stop overthinking. Enjoy your blessing." When she arrived at Chief's mansion, she couldn't believe her eyes. The gate alone looked more expensive than her father's entire house. Guards bowed as they opened it for her. Inside, the smell of money and mystery filled the air. Gold decorations, massive paintings, everything polished and perfect. Chief welcomed her with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He handed her a box wrapped in silver paper. "For you," he said softly. "Just promise me you'll make me happy in return." Sandra's heart skipped. Inside the box was the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max, shimmering, perfect, untouched. She smiled nervously, whispering, "Thank you." But deep inside, something told her this gift came with a price she wasn't ready to pay. Sandra sat on the edge of the luxurious bed, her palms sweating against the silk sheets. Chief Obinna stood by the window, his heavy gold chain gleaming under the dim chandelier light. The air smelled like perfume, and something else, something metallic, strange. "You like your phone?" he asked without turning around. Sandra nodded. "Yes, Chief. It's beautiful. Thank you." He walked toward her slowly, his steps echoing across the marble floor. "I told you, I like to make my friends happy. But friendship must be mutual." His voice was soft, almost fatherly, but his eyes were sharp, too sharp. Sandra's heart pounded as he touched her shoulder. Every instinct screamed run, but the image of the iPhone flashed in her mind. The comments, the envy, the admiration, all the validation she'd been craving. So, she stayed. That night felt endless. The laughter, the fear, the forced smile. It all blurred into one moment she wished she could erase. When it was finally over, Chief handed her an envelope filled with cash, and said, "You are special, Sandra. Don't ever forget what you've given tonight." She wanted to cry, but she smiled instead. She took the money and the phone, muttering, "Thank you," as if her gratitude could cover the emptiness inside. As she left the mansion, the guards bowed again. Outside, the night felt colder than ever. She clutched the phone box tightly against her chest. For a brief moment, she felt victorious. She had what everyone wanted. But as her taxi drove away, she saw something strange in the rear-view mirror. Chief Obinna stood at his window, staring at her car. His lips moved silently, like he was whispering her name, or saying a prayer. And for just a second, his reflection in the glass looked wrong. His shadow seemed to move, even though his body didn't. Sandra shook her head. "It's just my imagination," she told herself. But deep down, something had already begun to follow her home. The next morning, Sandra woke up, smiling for the first time in weeks. Sunlight poured through her window, landing right on the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max lying beside her bed. She held it up, admiring the shine. "Finally, I made it," she whispered. She couldn't wait to show it off. Within hours, her WhatsApp status was full of selfies, unboxing videos, and captions like, "Hard work pays, don't ask how." Her classmates flooded her messages with praise and envy. "Sandra, you've joined the big girls now. Ah, the phone suits you, oh?" She smiled at every message, pretending everything was perfect. But deep inside, something felt off. By evening, her excitement began to fade. She felt strangely weak, dizzy, and hot at the same time. Her body ached like she had been beaten. She ignored it, telling herself it was just stress. That night, she barely touched her dinner. Her appetite was gone. When Anita called to ask how she was feeling, Sandra lied. "I'm fine, just tired, maybe from all the excitement." But when she lay down to sleep, a sharp pain shot through her stomach. She curled up, groaning softly in the dark. Beads of sweat rolled down her forehead. At dawn, she woke up trembling. Her skin was cold, and she noticed tiny red patches near her thighs. She stared at them for minutes, confused and scared. "It's nothing," she whispered to herself. "Maybe an allergy." But deep down, Sandra felt something worse, as if her body was slowly rejecting the blessing she had chased so desperately. She didn't know it yet, but the gift she celebrated that morning was already beginning to destroy her from the inside. 2 days later, Sandra could barely recognize herself. Her once glowing skin had turned pale and dry. Her lips were cracked. Every time she looked in the mirror, she saw a tired stranger staring back. She hadn't been to class all week. The phone that once made her feel proud now lay untouched on the table. Even the thought of touching it made her uneasy. Anita stopped by that evening. "Sandra, what's going on? You look sick. Have you eaten?" Sandra forced a weak smile. "It's just fever. I'll be fine." Anita frowned. "No, this doesn't look normal. Let's go to the hospital." But Sandra shook her head. "I don't want my parents to know. They'll ask too many questions." That night, Sandra woke up to a strange, crawling sensation between her thighs. When she looked down, she screamed. Her bedsheet was stained not with blood, but with small, white maggots wriggling across the fabric. She jumped from the bed, trembling in horror. "What's happening to me?" She ran to the bathroom, crying as she tried to clean herself. Her body burned like fire. The pain was unbearable. In the morning, she called Anita again, her voice shaking. "Something is wrong with me, Anita. Please come." When Anita arrived and saw the state Sandra was in, she froze. Her friend's body was thin, her eyes bloodshot, and her breath faint. She noticed the smell, a terrible, decaying scent coming from her wounds. "Sandra, this isn't fever. We need to go to the hospital now." Sandra began to sob. "Anita, I think that man did something to me." Anita's heart dropped. "What man?" Sandra whispered. "Chief Obinna." For a moment, Anita couldn't breathe. She remembered the stories, the rumors about young girls who went missing after spending time with him. And now, looking at her friend, she realized one thing. Sandra had joined the list. Anita called a taxi and helped Sandra into the back seat. Sandra's head rested on her shoulder, her body shaking violently. Every breath sounded like it might be her last. When they arrived at the hospital, nurses rushed her in immediately. The doctor examined her, then stepped back slowly, his face turning pale. "What happened to this girl?" he asked in disbelief. Anita stammered. She got sick a few days ago. Please, just help her." The doctor ordered tests, but when the results came back, he could barely speak. "Her internal organs are decaying," he whispered. "It's like something is eating her from the inside." Sandra screamed in pain as the nurses tried to hold her down. Tears rolled down Anita's face. "Please, do something." But nothing worked. The medications, the drips, her body rejected everything. Her blood pressure dropped, her breathing grew weaker, and her skin started turning dark around her neck and chest. The doctor called Anita aside. "I don't understand it, but it's not normal. Whatever she's suffering from, it's spiritual." That night, Sandra woke up for a moment, clutching Anita's hand. "Promise me something," she whispered. "Anything," Anita replied, crying. "Don't let anyone else go to him. Promise me that." Then her eyes rolled back, and her body went still. 3 days later, Sandra's lifeless body lay in the hospital morgue. Her classmates were shocked. Her parents were heartbroken. No one could explain what happened. Anita sat beside her coffin, unable to stop crying. Then she noticed something strange. The iPhone 17 Pro Max, sitting quietly in Sandra's bag, still untouched since that night. Her aunt sighed. "We don't even have enough money to bury her properly." Anita stared at the phone for a long time. It was still shiny, still beautiful, but it felt evil now. "Finally," she whispered, "sell it." They sold the phone. The money they got was used to pay for Sandra's coffin, her white gown, and her burial ground. As the coffin was lowered into the earth, Anita couldn't stop shaking. "She never even used the phone she died for," she said under her breath. Somewhere far away, Chief Obinna disappeared from the city. His mansion was locked, his cars gone. No one ever saw him again. Weeks turned into months, but people still talked about Sandra. Her name became a warning whispered in schools, markets, and hostels. Don't let greed blind you. Don't trade your body for vanity. Remember the girl who died for a phone. Even on campus, when people talk about iPhones launched, someone always mentioned her name. The story spread beyond Lagos, a reminder that not everything shiny is worth the price. Anita kept one of Sandra's photos in her wallet. Sometimes she'd look at it and whisper, "You didn't deserve this." But deep down, she knew Sandra's death had opened many eyes. No one in their circle ever went near a chief again. And every time someone bragged about a new iPhone, Anita's heart broke a little, remembering her best friend who never lived to enjoy hers. Sandra's story became a legend, the girl who sold her soul for a phone and paid the highest price.